Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews, and today we are starting the Expanse Season 2. So for anybody that's been waiting for me to get around to this finally, here we are. So there are full spoilers. We are doing Episode 1. It's called Safe. I was told that this was a two-parter, but I just kind of felt like watching the one. It's I don't have another day off until Sunday, so I'm trying to do a whole bunch of stuff today and try to get some videos out as well. So we're starting with just the one episode. Pretty damn good way to start out a season premiere. You get a little bit of catch up, but you also get a little bit of expansive storytelling, a lot more character stuff, and a lot to tell us where we're headed. And so again, I'm going to just stop putting a clock. I'm going to turn that clock off on Thomas Jane's likelihood of death. Just because he made it this far. If he goes, he goes, just like anybody else on this show can go. The cold open here where we get to meet this unit of Mars soldiers. It was pretty easy to figure out that they were running training expeditions or whatever you want to call them, training missions. It was pretty impressive looking though, especially for just like kind of a cable television show. They are very capable. They are very hungry soldiers. One of the things though that made me think what I was thinking about though was just the whole Mars Earth belter thing, that it just figures that, you know, barring an alien technology, which people are starting to now think, or it's being mentioned now, that this proto-molecule is maybe proof of like the first contact with extraterrestrial life. But the whole thing about how it's like the 23rd century, Earth's, you know, people are on Earth, we got people on Mars, we got people in the belt, and somehow, of course, we're fighting each other. It just figures like, you know, even when people have separate planets, we're still fighting each other. It just seems, it's so damn us that we would, you know, all the time in the future, we'd be finding ways to fucking fight each other. But it is still a show. You got to have a plot and everything. It's just human nature. It just seems like no matter where we go now in the universe, we're going to be at each other's throats. But I like the soldiers. They seem to be pretty interesting group of people, pretty intense. On the Earth side of things, we get to see that somebody tries to kill a Christian. Now, whether or not, again, this is any kind of OPA thing, because they just seem to be the scapegoat that everybody likes to use against whenever something goes wrong. They just put it on the OPA. They put it on Fred Johnson. When it seems to me like it's Aaron Wright and Julie Mao's dad are trying just about anything they can do to get Earth and Mars to fight. When the whole thing with Julie Mao and the Donninger and the Canterbury didn't quite work out, you know, all of a sudden people are trying to kill Christian. Then you got the whole thing with the mission to get to Phoebe Station. You know, Aaron Wright is like all like, oh, we gotta fire all our weapons on Mars. We gotta assume that they're starting shit all across the universe. It's just, they are really like desperate to start a war in the middle. What I don't understand yet is like in the middle of this discovery that they've made with this proto molecule, like shouldn't this be the time to come together? Because this proto molecule is a pretty fucking scary thing that could potentially take everyone out. So I'm not quite sure what the end game is for Mao and people like Aaron Wright. But I do like the game, the way Christian's playing this game. She said last year she was going to be, you know, she was going to play her role. Meanwhile, you know, like she says, don't believe what people say, pay attention to what they do. And so, you know, she's definitely a major player still. You gotta definitely have to look out for her. Just the way she kind of works that room, talks about the guy that is captaining the Hale that's competing to get to Phoebe Station. And the Admiral kind of going, yeah, I saw what you did there, you know, but he's not going to, because it worked out in his favor, it doesn't seem like he's going to try to out her or anything like that. Now with the group, Holden's crew and everything, fought off their radiation and all that stuff, we get to see what was in that safe. And safe is kind of like a few different meanings in this. There's the actual safe, there's keeping something, the thing that's in the safe, which is the proto-molecule. A sample of this thing is in that safe. And I was just like, oh god damn shit, fuck, what are we like, why is that, oh god. But they do come up with that plan to safely hide it and tuck it away, because I wouldn't want to be on board with that thing. But that was a pretty good idea. They're the only ones who know where it is. Nobody knows that they survived Aero Station. That whole thing with Aero Station where they're like, maybe we can use it to find a vaccine, stuff like that. Man, look, that's all great and all. Having hope, wanting to like try to fix things, but man, you need to be so far away from that shit, because they haven't even figured out a way to safely touch it. I mean, you get a little bit of that on you and you're fucked. I mean, that dream that Holden was having, I mean, what he's seen is already fucking up his head with thoughts of what could possibly happen. I like Miller and Amos's interaction in this. I mean, it had to happen, but damn, man, like, Miller is I consider him to be at least a pretty tough and smart dude. But man, it shows just how strong Amos is. He is kind of like, he puts it best. Miller does put it best. He's like a child. You know, like, he's not like I guess maybe not in love with Agata, but like, or maybe he is, but like their relationship is very much like parent-child. Because he just doesn't seem to like know what he's doing when he gets into those kind of violent rages. But he has to kind of be like snapped, like, hey, you know, you're going too far. I could have done without the whole Agata Holden banging each other thing. I guess, you know, when you're in a tight and suspenseful kind of situation, you're probably on edge and you might need, you know, a little bit of release, but it was just a little bit like, didn't he just get out, you know, he just saw that one girl get blown up that he was having sex with, and now he's having sex with her. I don't know. I could do without that in this show. I think that mutual respect over people just banging each other in like this hot, you know, whatever. I don't know. But it could create conflict between Amos and her and Holden, depending. But again, I don't want that for this show. I don't want there to be like love triangles and shit like that. I hope that's not where we're headed. I'm glad to see that they're going to stick around. I also like that scene at the end with the lasagna, and Alex is right. They do need to come together if they're going to stick, you know, they need to stick together. And that was a great idea. And the whole story about cheese and cheese farts, that was all really good. Nice way to put that in there. I really enjoyed all that. The whole like psych out that Mars fired on Phoebe Station and blew it up rather than let the UN get there. That was pretty intense. That's pretty hardcore. I mean, everybody's assuming that the other one is up to something. And again, it's this whole manipulation that Mao and Aaron Wright, people like that, are doing. So we're going to see how far this goes. I mean, we've got this season and third season, fourth season. I don't even know when the fourth season will come out, but we've got like 19 episodes before the end of this run of shows. So we'll see how far this craziness gets. But I thought this was a fucking excellent beginning to a season. Speaking of which, sorry for cussing and stuff, but maybe it's because I'm watching versions that actually have swearing. So that's pretty intense too. Anyway, so if you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this episode. If you haven't seen it before, if you have, please no spoilers for anything further, because like I said, I haven't read the books or anything like that. Speaking of that, there was something I was going to say, And it had to do with the books and maybe something. It was something about more detail about Mars and Earth's conflict and everything. That stuff I wouldn't mind getting spoiled because I just want to know why are Earth and Mars really at each other's like throats. So anyway, this is Robert Smirking Gun Review saying we'll be back with the second episode, maybe today, probably tomorrow. Otherwise, have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you next time. Bye.